What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres. So there's this little chatter going around lately, which is metal dead? And I don't know who created this novelty of a topic, but I remember being a kid, and not everyone was into metal. Not everyone was into punk. And if you were kind of like the oddball to some degree. I'm talking about the mid-'80s. Like, you were definitely more of a problem child than anything else. And I use that term loosely, right? Because, unless you were part of a football team, a baseball team, a basketball team, any kind of sports team, you were just naturally looked at as the odd kid. And, we were, I guess, more in tune to our individuality, and we didn't want to follow what everyone else did. So we listened to metal and we grew our hair, or we listened to punk and oi and hardcore and we shaved our heads. So I don't know where they're getting that metal is dead. Mainstream music has been mainstream since the 40s. So I don't know where they're getting that metal is dead. That's like saying jazz is dead. At one point, jazz was extremely popular and then just fell out of bed. So when people say and ask, is metal dead? Like, what are you comparing it to? What are they comparing it to? Like, what era? I feel like I run into kids now who are 20 and are into metal, but they've been into metal since they were 6. I run into metalheads that are 30 that they've been into metal since they were even 4 and 5 because their dads were, metalheads and listening to Megadeth and Slayer. So I don't think in my entire history of music, I don't think I've ever experienced more metalheads than ever before. There's infinitely more. Are there less musicians? I don't know. I talked to the 2 guys that own the local shop by me, and they see that there's definitely, somewhat of a lull in buying guitar and drum gear. And crazy enough, listen, last year I went to go see Obituary play with Terror, Cro-Mags, and who else? I forgot who else is there. And it's a large venue for upstate New York. And, I was shocked at how many people were there. This is called Upstate Concert Hall, which is in Clifton Park, New York. Literally, I live in Clifton Park. It's about 2 miles up the road. I'm literally going to end up passing it soon. And it's just crazy just seeing how jam-packed it was. I remember as a kid, I'm talking about 14, going to L'Amour's in Brooklyn, and, much smaller venue, and that place wasn't packed, and they considered it packed. Packed would be if, Overkill played, or, Carnivore. Then you couldn't even move, you couldn't breathe, it was that packed. But overall, to say that metal is dead, metal's just changed. There's just more genres. That's all it is. If someone wants to say that thrash metal is dead, I would still say it's not. It's just not as popular as, say, all the rest of metal. I started playing again in 2016. I'm like, what's this progressive metal thing? Who's this Misha character and all these other bands? I was like, I don't even know who any of these people are. And all they've done was just categorize different types of metal into their own, subgenre, from thrash and the days of Metallica and Slayer. That's all that's happened. So, if you're going to go see a band like Ginger, you're probably maybe you won't go see Megadeth. You know, people that go watch Megadeth may not see, you know, I don't know, the Addicts anymore, you know, which is an old oi band from the UK. So, is metal dead? It's not. It's alive and well. It's just called, you know, now there isn't just thrash or death, which came right after. There's just so many, and there are way more metalheads, more bands than I think there ever have been. So metal isn't dead. Don't let anyone steer you in that crazy direction into thinking that it is. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best, and as usual, I'll talk to you guys soon.